Today we're going to take a look at the Commodore 3040 floppy disk drive. It's actually a double floppy disk drive. I bought this for 99 euros off of eBay. It's rusty. It doesn't look like in the pictures or in the description. It says 4040 in front of here. And yeah. Problem is I don't have a fitting cable. These cables cost about the same as the unit itself, and so I thought I'm going to build one. And I bought this IEEE 488 cable for 15 euros, and it has two of these connectors, but only one of these connectors is used, and these are hard to come by. And on the other end I will put on this Commodore C64 user port, which is incidentally the same connector as the IEEE connector on the Commodore PET. So this and this should make a cable for this, which plugs into the PET. I have no idea if this works, or if my PET is even able to read disks or write to them, because the PET in Basic 1 didn't even have the proper commands for floppy access. It came with a cassette tape, and that was pretty much it. So we're going to clean this, try to refurbish it, and then build a cable and try to connect it to the PET and see what happens. Let's go. So before we go on our cleaning spree, let's open it up and take a look inside. It's a pretty interesting construction. Here are the two drives. Only one drive has the driver board, and that is used to drive both drives. So this cable goes to the second drive. There's a transformer, some caps, and if I turn the camera, you can see that the main board, or the main logic of this whole drive assembly, is in the top half of the case, so in here. And before I do anything else, I will take out this board, because I will have to clean the top cover and put some vinegar on it to get a hold of the rust. And this pin right here is pretty rusty. And yeah, let's do this first. So I already made photos of all the connections here. I'm always a bit on the fence about removing connectors, because these tend to break. I mean, at least these units here are 40+ years old. So okay, so we have disconnected this board from the rest. So there are longer screws down here, and there are smaller screws or shorter screws here, and I guess here too. So let me quickly try to grab this so it doesn't fall down. Yeah, that's also a shorter screw. So now we should be able to just lift this out, and we can. Let's take a look at the board. So here's the connector in question. Board looks pretty good. No rust, no corrosion, which is interesting, because if you take a look at the top half of the case, it's pretty rusted. But this looks all just fine. Not a bit of corrosion anywhere. That's kind of cool. Looks like there was something soldered to these two, and that has been removed. Not quite sure what that means. I have a feeling that this disk drive has been modded from a 3040 to a 4040 drive, which is only, if I remember correctly, an update in the kernel ROMs. And yeah, I have no idea what this is here. Okay, we will put this to the side and try to clean the top half, and I will take the top half off to really give it a good clean. So to remove the top cover, you have to remove the screws back here. Let's check these screws. Yeah, these are the same shorter screws, so just put them to the others. And there's a longer one again. I have no idea how they decide which screw goes where. There's a shorter one again. And a shorter one. And a shorter one. So this should lift off now, and it does. But there's still a ground wire connected, which we have to take off. And this is a bigger screw this time. And there we go. So as you can see, the top half is pretty rusty. Looks good from the inside. It doesn't look quite as good from the outside. And this standoff thing here is very rusted too. No idea if I can get this out of here. I have to bend this up a little to get it. Oh, and the rust is already coming off of this. Okay, so we will clean this off. We will clean the whole top, and then we'll see if this rust is going in here or not. As always, I will be using my baby wipes, which are 99% water and 1% baby. I don't know. So to check if the rust is just on top or if it's in the case, I will try to use my magic eraser, and magic eraser is like a smooth sanding paper, and it will try to get the top of the rust off, and we will see if there's rust in the actual case. So let's do this next. Looks like the rust is already through the coating and in the case. You can see it pretty nicely here. Coating is gone. So looks like there's a paint job in the future of this case. There's still dirt coming off, so I guess I will first try to clean this properly. All nice and clean now. Okay, so all that's left is taking care of the front and of this little standoff. So let's do this next. Still on the fence of if I should paint this or not, because the front is pretty much in pristine condition, but the top is rusted, and I'm almost willing to just remove the rust and leave it to that. Okay, so I did refill my bottle of IPA. I will spray this really good, and I will go in segments starting down here and see how far I can get with this rust. So this is as good as I can get it without using vinegar or repainting the case. Looks much better than before because the rust is a bit gone, but it's still visible in some spots. I guess I will try to do a little brush up with some acrylic paint here. Just have to match the perfect tone. That could be interesting. There are a few rust spots. I'm okay with that. It's much better than before. It's clean, and yeah, let's take a look at the cable. So to build the cable we need this cable, which is a standard IEEE 488 cable that is, I guess, manufactured or at least used by HP. And Commodore did the neat trick of cheaping out on the connector. So on the PET 2001 at least, there is just a piece of PCB that connects to this connector here, which is a standard user port connector for the C64. And what we're going to do is we cut this cable in half. It's pretty long, it's almost 3 meters, so I can even build 2 cables because these are double-sided. So let's first cut this in half, and there we go. Okay, and there's a strain of rainbow colored cables. Okay, there we go. And the shielding on this is massive. We will for now just put this to the outside here. And there are our cables. Let's count 2, 4, 22, 24, 25. Okay, whatever. Now, let's quickly check if we can. Yeah, that should work. Gives us plenty of room to really solder them on here. Now we will go and strip them all, and then we will have to check for continuity and make a little diagram of which pin is which. These are actually labeled. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little 12 in the corner here and a little 1 over here. And yeah, that should help. Okay, it seems like we are in for a nice treat of shit candy here, because all of the colors are in here 2 times. So I went ahead and stripped all the cables, but as you can see, there's 2 purple, 2 blue, 4 black, or even more, 8 black, 2 brown. So we cannot just write down pin 1 is green, because we have to check which pin 1 and which of the 8 blacks and so on. So I guess I will try to find all the wires for 1 pin row, so the upper or the lower, and try to write that down. Yeah, what we have to do is we have to pretty much crisscross these cables, and pin 1 on here is also pin 1 on here, which is right here. And then we have A to N down in this row, which will be pin 13 to 24. Yeah, let's do this. So to find out which pin is which cable, we just use the continuity mode on the multimeter. And I have no idea which one is which, so we just start with, let's say, pin 1. Start with pin 1, which is in the upper corner here. I will just put the multimeter there, grab all of the cables. Yeah, that's not going to work, so I have to come up with a method to do this properly, because this just doesn't work. That green wire here is seemingly pin number 1. Yes, it is. Okay, that's good. This pin right here is pin number 1. I would really love to just solder this on here straight away, and I guess I will do that, because that seems to be the best way to handle this. Quickly put some flux on all the pins here. Makes it way easier to solder. So the connector is prepared then. And then this is just a matter of putting in the cables. Now wait, what we do is we put some heat shrink on there. it looks like we're doing this for the next 23 cables. Yay. Yeah, I'm 11 pins in, and I just noticed that none of the cables is connected to pin number 12. First I thought there may be some kind of break in the cable, but then I noticed on the other half that there's actually another cable that comes out here, which is not even insulated, it's just under the shielding, and that is pin 12. So I will have to solder another cable on here. We'll do some heat shrinking here and connect that to the pin up here so that all the pins are connected. Okay, the cable is done, 24 wires soldered. I did check the continuity on all of them. Put some heat shrink on, looking nice and sturdy, and I also 3D printed one of those cases. I will put the link in the description, and that goes just in right here, and then we have a nice cable that should hopefully work. We will see. Okay, let's consider the cable done and continue with the drive. Okay, I did actually put some vinegar on the top case, which we will take a look at in a moment. Let's try to clean these drives a little. I'm not going to get them out and clean them all inside, but what I will at least do is clean the read-write head, which is right here, with some alcohol, and loop the rails a little. And this read-write head is moved by this disc, and if you turn the disc, the read-write head moves. So we'll loop these rails right here, and this piece does turn, which grabs the disc if you close the drive. I will loop it a little bit here, and I have some silicone oil here, which I will spray on a cotton pad and then just apply some of this. Let me first go and clean the head a little. It looks pretty clean. That looks super clean, which is pretty astounding. Oh, okay, look here. There's a little bit dirt going on. Okay, so there was actually a little dirt. Wasn't that clean. Now let's grab some of these cotton swabs. Put on some silicone oil here. And I will use a fresh cotton swab and just drench it in there, and then just put just a little of that down there. That's the first drive, and now we will take off this right here and try to do the same on the second drive. That's just clipped in there. We remove this connector here. Man, these things are really fragile, and there are these little plastic clips that clip into these holes here. Didn't expect that to happen. Okay, so here we are. Same. Some oil there. So we can put this back on for now. I know it's not the cleanest cleaning job in the world, but it has to do for now, because we just want to test this. If this actually works, I will go in and clean this much more properly. Okay, so I guess we are ready to attach the top half, put the board back in, do all the connection work, and then see if everything is back together. Let's close the lid. Now you can see how the top looks. Rust is mostly gone, but there's still some residue. I did drench this in vinegar, but it didn't help too much. Took off a little rust, so I will have to spray paint or paint this in the right color and sand it down. But for now, for the test, I will get the pad out and we will do a little test run. Let's see. Okay, the PET is out, and this is my final cable. I attached the housing, which I 3D printed, did some strain relief inside, and wrote top on the top. That's always helpful because these things go in both ways. So let's attach this end to the drive and this end to the PET, and oh man, I have no idea if this works. By the way, let's take a quick glance at the pinout. All you have to do this cable is to connect pin 1 to pin 1 on the other side, and pin 13 to 24 to the pins A to N. So that is how these pins are labeled outside. You can see this. There are little letters and numbers. Yeah, and that should do the trick. I have no idea if this works. So away goes nothing. Let's connect and let's power on. Okay, let's first test if the PET still runs. I'm always amazed if it does. And it does. It's impossible. Okay, that's good news. And by the way, you can tell by the stars around the Commodore BASIC if this is a version 2 or version 1 BASIC. I just don't recall which is which. Let me quickly check. Okay, it actually turns out that this is BASIC version 1. BASIC version 2 would have 3 hashes here and 3 hashes here instead of the stars. And that means that Commodore didn't actually implement the IEEE 488 disk drive routines in this version of BASIC. And we are pretty much out of luck. So I have to get the proper BASIC version ROMs somehow. Maybe burn them myself or build an adapter or something like this. Come back and try again, because it doesn't make much sense to do this now, because there are not even routines to try this. But we can, of course, let me quickly switch this off. We can switch on the disk drive and see what it does. Yeah, that doesn't sound too good. All the drive lights are flashing. I'm not too hopeful that this could have worked, but let's quickly power this on. Yeah, still flashing. But it did get a signal from this machine, so that's not bad. Okay, so there seems to be a lot more to explore here. I will end the video here because I don't have the proper BASIC ROMs. I don't have the proper knowledge to fix this drive yet, but I will. I will come back in part 2. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and until part 2 we will get this baby to work. Bye bye.
Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.